In 1988, the Iran-Iraq War raged in the treacherous combat zones of the Persian Gulf. Amidst the chaos, no foreign ship, merchant or military, was safe. Not even US Navy ships were immune. In a stunning event, the USS Samuel B. Roberts was nearly blown apart by a mysterious, unidentified naval mine. US Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal divers scoured the area for evidence and eventually stumbled upon an astonishing truth. Serial numbers on the mines matched those from an Iranian ship stormed by Navy SEAL commandos. America vowed revenge and launched Operation Praying Mantis to knock Iran back in its place. It would be one of the largest US naval surface operations since World War II. The primary mission would be to decimate Iranian naval power in the region, but the US Navy also had its eyes set on an unexpected and unconventional target, one that might have even been illegal. The powder keg. In 1979, the pro-American Shah of Iran was overthrown in a violent revolution that resulted in the creation of the Islamic Republic of Iran, led by Grand Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. This uprising ended a close relationship the US Navy had forged with the Iranian Navy and the Shah to become Cold War allies against the Soviet Union. As part of this alliance, the US had supplied Iran with the latest weaponry available, including F-14 Tomcat fighters armed with Phoenix long-range air-to-air missiles, P-3 Orion ASW aircraft, and Harpoon anti-ship missiles. As if this was not enough, the Navy was about to build 4 destroyers for the Iranian Navy that were left incomplete after the uprising. These ships were often referred to as the Ayatollah or the Khomeini class. In September 1980, Iraq's dictator, Saddam Hussein, launched a large-scale military offensive into Iran to make the most out of the chaos that had engulfed Iran due to the revolution. Long-standing border disputes, territorial ambitions, and ideological differences regarding religion and politics were also reasons behind the clash between both nations. Iraq and Iran sought the upper hand by deploying numerous armies, advanced weapons, and brutal tactics to maintain or reconquer more territory. The war raged for almost a decade and began to wane in 1988 when ceasefire negotiations commenced. Trench warfare, chemical attacks, and indiscriminate bombings resulted in numerous civilian casualties, displacement, and entire cities reduced to rubble. Iran and Iraq suffered heavily, leaving behind a trail of destruction. The Tanker War. International powers, especially the United States, played a significant role in the conflict. The US government and other Western nations, including the Soviet Union, provided Iraq with weapons, supplies, diplomatic support, intelligence sharing, and economic flow to finish off Iran. The ongoing conflict quickly spread to the Persian Gulf, where the US-trained Iranian Navy and Air Force gained the edge. In retaliation, Iraq began to attack Iranian shipping in the northern Gulf. This gave way to the Tanker War. By 1987, Iran had conducted 168 attacks against merchant shipping, while Iraq had performed over 283. Soon, the entire Persian Gulf was in flames. In response, Kuwait called for international assistance to protect its tankers, which were targeted by Iranian ships and aircraft. Some tankers were allowed to employ the US flag to protect them from escalating attacks. US Navy vessels were also deployed in the Persian Gulf as part of Operation Earnest Will to escort reflagged Kuwaiti oil tankers through the Persian Gulf to protect them from being attacked by Iraqi and Iranian military personnel. Deadly ambush. Tensions between the US and Iran increased in late 1987 and 1988. Iran began to lay hundreds of minefields in the Arabian Gulf. Some tankers were struck by mines, causing international outrage and leading to the capture of the Iran Azure, the vessel responsible for laying the mines. In early 1988, the US Navy was given more liberal rules of engagement to interfere against engagements on neutral ships, deterring possible attacks from Iran or Iraq. In February, the frigate USS Samuel B. Roberts was deployed to the Gulf to assist the US Navy task force. The frigate kept Iranian warships and aircraft away from tankers and supported secret mobile operating bases. More importantly, she kept the Iranian frigate Sabalan at bay from attacking merchant vessels. On April 14th, USS Samuel B. Roberts was returning from a successful escort when one of her lookouts spotted 3 mines ahead. The ship stopped, and Commander Paul Rinn ordered every sailor available to reach the main deck. While backing down, the vessel struck an Iranian moored contact mine. An explosion destroyed the keel, flooding the ship with over 2,000 tons of water. A massive fireball went up through the ship's deck. The crew miraculously fought the fire and cabled the superstructure together. The Iranian Sabalan showed up late at night but kept her distance. The ship barely stayed afloat and was then towed away. 10 crewmen required medevac but survived. This incident was enough for the US Navy. It was time to retaliate and hunt down the Iranian ships laying mines across the Persian Gulf. Praying Mantis. While Iranian and Iraqi ground troops were engaged in Al-Fa Peninsula after Saddam Hussein launched a massive counteroffensive led by the Republican Guard, the US Navy launched Operation Praying Mantis on April 18, 1988. The primary objective of Mantis was to sink the Iranian frigate Sabalan, held responsible for the damage to USS Samuel B. Roberts. The broader objective was to inflict enough damage on the Iranian Navy to deter it from laying more mines in the Arabian Gulf. Praying Mantis was the largest of 5 U.S. Navy surface operations since World War II. Rear Admiral Anthony Less was the commander of Mantis and had Joint Task Force Middle East aboard USS Coronado under his command. The task force was supported by Battle Group Foxtrot under Rear Admiral Guy Zeller, Commander Cruiser Destroyer Group 3 on USS Enterprise. Mantis began at 8 a.m. when Surface Action Group Bravo reached Iran's Sassan oil platform with a one-time warning. USS Merrill told the Iranians they had 20 minutes to abandon the platform before destroying it. Some Iranians refused and opened fire with their anti-aircraft guns. A Marine AH-1 helicopter intervened to finish off resistance and clear the area for U.S. Marines that boarded the platform. They captured 1 prisoner, gathered intelligence, and placed explosives for detonation. Group Bravo then advanced towards the Raksh oil platform with the same objective. While on the way, SAG Bravo, which comprised USS Merrill, USS Trenton, and USS Lind McCormick, was attacked by 2 Iranian F-4 Phantoms. The attack ended abruptly, however, when Lind McCormick locked onto the aircraft with missile fire control radar. Oil platforms. In an attempt to de-escalate, the attack on the Raksh oil platform was called off before SAG Bravo arrived at the location. Nevertheless, SAG Charlie continued their objective: destroy the Siri oil platform. After the expected warning to leave the platform, USS Wainwright, USS Simpson, and USS Bagley opened fire. 1 shell hit a compressed gas tank, caused a massive fireball, and took the lives of an Iranian gun crew. While the 2 task groups attacked the oil platforms, Iran deployed several speedboats from its naval forces and ordered them to attack any non-Iranian vessel in their path. Armed with Soviet RPGs and different types of machine guns and assault rifles, the speedboats damaged 1 American, 1 British, and 1 Panamanian merchant vessel. As the operation progressed, a VA-95 A-6E Intruder aircraft from USS Enterprise took off to engage 4 enemy speedboats. The Intruder had a tough time targeting the small and fast boats, but sank 1 with a Rockeye cluster bomb during its second pass. The rest fled the scene. Besides the speedboats, Iran also deployed the Common-class missile patrol boat Joshan under the command of Captain Abbas Malik. Although her orders were unclear regarding what to do when faced with American ships, Joshan approached the location of Siri oil platform. The stage was set for a naval engagement. Last warning. 3 hours later, the Iranian ship was detected by USS Wainwright. Captain Chandler, who commanded the vessel, knew through intelligence reports that Joshan was carrying the last Harpoon anti-ship missile on Iran's inventory. Knowing he could not engage unless fired upon, Captain Chandler broadcasted several warnings to Joshan, ordering her to turn away or face the consequences. Captain Malik answered by radio, quote, "I am doing my duty. I am in international waters and will commit no provocative attack." Joshan kept advancing toward USS Wainwright. At 13 miles, the U.S. Navy ship issued more warnings, but received no response. Instead, Joshan locked onto USS Wainwright with her fire control radar. Captain Chandler made one last warning, quote,
"Stop and abandon ship. I intend to sink you." Over.
Joshan immediately launched its last Harpoon missile at Wainwright, who fired one standard missile in surface-to-surface mode. USS Simpson, which was nearby, also opened fire. After 4 hits, Joshan's superstructure was left in critical condition, but did not sink. Miraculously, the Harpoon's missile failed to activate and passed close to Wainwright's starboard side. In the chaos, 2 enemy F-4 Phantom fighter bombers showed up, and Wainwright directly engaged them with 2 missiles. One took evasive maneuvers, and the other was left with a large hole in one wing and limped back to base. SAG Charlie then turned its attention to Joshan and finished the job. The price of victory. Later in the day, the Somme-class frigate Sahand engaged aircraft from USS Joseph Strauss with SAM fire. The US Navy vessel retaliated with Harpoon and Skipper missiles that sank the Iranian ship after a massive explosion. Meanwhile, other Navy ships from SAG Delta approached Bandar Abbas base, from which Sabalan quickly departed. The Iranian ship was detected by an A-6 aircraft flown by Lieutenant Commander James Engler. After verifying her identity, Engler approached the enemy ship and fired a laser-guided bomb that crippled the ship, leaving her dead in the water. This marked the last engagement of Operation Praying Mantis and triggered a ceasefire. Sabalan was towed back to her base, and the U.S. task force returned to neutral waters. The only American casualty was a Marine Corps AH-1T Sea Cobra helicopter gunship that crashed near Abu Musa Island. Despite the ceasefire, the U.S. and Iran would face each other again in July 1988 during the tragic shootdown of Iran Air Flight 655 by USS Vincennes. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe to our Dark Documentaries channels for more content about the Gulf War. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of our newest videos.